Blessings and peace to you. This is SB Favor Thinking Podcast, and my name is SB Favor. How are you doing today? It is Saturday, April 30th, 2022. Another wonderful day and another day to be thankful. And as I always say, if you focus on what is good, then you can project something good to happen. So make sure you focus on the things that make you feel good, the things that give you peace, the things that just lift you up. Focus on what is good. You cannot go wrong with that. You can only do good. If you are out there traveling about, make sure you're wearing your mask when you need to and just doing your part to stay safe. We are still in the middle of a pandemic and people are still getting sick, unfortunately. So please just do your part to keep yourself safe and keep your family members safe. If you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $ SB Favor. I thank you so much for your support and your donations. Well, the topic of this episode is sexuality and the church. Me and Toni Howard, we are going to discuss this topic in depth because there are a lot of people that are suffering in secret when it comes to their sexuality, their issues, their struggles, and just acceptance and everything that goes on with that topic in the church. So we're just going to discuss that and just get right into it. How you doing, Toni?
I'm good. How are you this afternoon?
I'm moving right along. I'm here, but I'm moving right along and just trying to rest. It's a Saturday, but we still got to keep it moving, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about sexuality in the church. What comes to your mind when you think about that topic, sexuality and the church?
The first thing today that came to mind with that particular topic is rejection. Yeah.
How do you think people are rejected?
I think that, people are rejected for multiple reasons. I think really it kind of depends on the person that is the one that is putting out the rejection. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People have so many different thoughts and feelings and opinions.
Yeah.
And that causes that rejection to be on display.
Yeah. Well, homosexuality, or anyone that has any type of sexual challenge or struggle is something how people that deal with that is more obvious versus the person that has what they call secret sins or secret struggles. What you say?
I totally agree.
Yeah, and they shouldn't be rejected. I don't think that people should be rejected because of something that they deal with. I don't think that people should be mistreated because of something that they deal with that's obvious. What'd you say?
No, I also agree with that. I oftentimes, have these similar discussions with people and, I say, well, is their sin any greater than the sin that you may have in your heart, but it just hasn't been displayed outwardly?
Exactly. It's something because there's so much that's going on in the world and in the church, and we're not talking about this to be negative or just focus on the negative thing that's happening in the church, but I think that it's something that has to be discussed because people need to be influenced and encouraged to accept people for who they are, because I don't always think that, when it comes to challenges personally or struggles, I don't think that some people could just, as they say, pray it away. You got some people that deal with issues all their life. What'd you say?
That's true. I mean, if we want to talk about, the church, the point of reference is the church is the Bible, right? Scripture that was inspired by the Holy Spirit. And so Paul said in the Bible, in the Word of God, that he had a thorn in his flesh. And so, that he just could not get rid of. And so there are areas in people's lives, whether they want to admit it or not, that is parallel to what Paul was saying. It's a thorn in my flesh. And not that I haven't tried to be, changed, set free, and delivered. But for some reason, I keep going back.
Yeah, I think that whatever we deal with as individuals, I believe that when we are honest with ourselves and we're honest with God and we accept ourselves for who we are, I believe that that's the first step of healing. I just believe that, because if we're not honest with what we're dealing with as individuals when it comes to sexuality or any type of struggle, I think that that honesty, it's like it catapults the situation into something better, because when you're dishonest, I think that just causes a person to struggle more. What you say?
I'm agreeing with everything today, but I completely agree. I completely agree. And I can only agree because it's real to me. You know what I'm saying? Because my experience has been, when I'm not honest with God about what he already knows about me, first of all, right? But yet trying to hide what he already knows about me, it's almost like I start to feel like defeated. You know what I mean? Like it starts to torment you, really.
Yeah,
from
it does.
A psychological perspective. When it's just really that simple to say, no, here I am. Naked and unashamed, and this is what I've done, and this is where I am. I just told somebody like a week or so ago that, and we're not condoning, right? Sin or where people may be. Exactly. But I said to them, it doesn't matter where you are found.
Right.
Or where you are.
Exactly.
God is still with you.
That's right. Exactly. He truly is. He's
still with you.
Yeah. No matter what you have gone through or what your imperfection is, God is still with us. And that's why I wanted to talk about this topic, because people need to understand that whether you are in the church or not in the church, no matter where you are, no matter what you've done, no matter what it is you even thought about doing, just know that God accepts you for who you are, right? And I just think that the church, whether it's Catholic church or Baptist church or Pentecostal church, the church needs to accept people for who they are, because the world needs more love. And when we accept people for who they are, then what happens is we help them to live. I'm not saying if someone is not living according to your conviction that you're supposed to just condemn them, or if you think something is wrong according to something you read in the Bible, you're supposed to just hit them over the head with a hammer, so to speak. We all have fallen short. We all have done things that are not good. And so to put it in proper order, what I'm really saying is accept people for who they are. And even when you see something that is not right according to your conviction or your opinion, or even according to what the Bible says, I just believe that when you love people and you accept them for who they are, you give them an opportunity to live. Because people are actually committing suicide, and people are walking in condemnation because of their struggles. Toni, what do you think about that?
Yeah, and you know what? As you were talking, my mind kind of went back to the word that you used a few minutes ago as well, and that is to heal. And I don't think that, the church realizes that when you express the love, and not just the humanistic love, we're talking about the love of God. The love of God, is unconditional. It it covers far beyond the love of humanity. Honestly, the humanistic love, but it really does allow people to live, but it also allows them to be on a journey of healing. And it is a journey. It does not happen overnight. It's a journey.
Exactly. All types of struggles or challenges, personal challenges. Yes, I agree. It is a absolute journey of healing, because we're all a work in progress. And so, that being said, Toni, I had mentioned to you earlier that Dwayne Wade's child came out, and I guess he, told his parents how he felt about his sexuality. And one of the things that Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union said was they loved their child. Magic Johnson and Cookie, same thing. Their son came out as gay, and one of the things that Cookie emphasized, she said, I have to love my son. She said that when her son came to her and told her, she said that she didn't tell Magic right away, so it was just like a secret between her and her son. But then once she shared it with Magic, her husband, that's when they both came together to love their son. And I just think that what that couple is doing, and Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union, I think that they are examples of how you love a child that's going through something like that. I mean, on a personal note, I can't give my opinion about how they run their home, but as far as loving a child that is dealing with homosexuality or any other type of challenge, I think that, like I said, love is the key factor. And as you said, Toni, to just be on that journey of progressive healing. Yeah, absolutely. So, let me ask you this, Toni. What do you think about how the double standards of leadership in the church, so to speak? A leader in the church can do something, and then they can look at the guy that's gay playing the drums, and it's a double standard. What do you think about that?
It is very much so a double standard. And I say that because I think you and I talked about this before too. There is a difference in, being in a thing and then being in a thing, but yet asking God or being honest with God for you to be whole. Right. So, sometimes, again, leaders and I don't want to say it, but,
say it.
Because you know what? On a greater scale, we have a lot of leaders that are doing things secretly.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I brought that up. There are leaders in the church that are living double lives, but they can look at the man or woman that might be struggling with homosexuality, or that man or that woman that the man that impregnated somebody, or the woman that's carrying a baby that's not married. The double standard. But the person that's, the leader that, they're accepted. Even sometimes leaders have children with women in the church. I'm talking about a married leader that can have people sitting right in their congregation that's pregnant with their child. And the church, they will accept that. But the person, like I said a minute ago, the person that's on the drums on Sunday, or the person that's singing in the choir, they call them out on Sunday morning. So it's a double standard, right? It's a double standard.
Mm.
Yeah, but say what you were going to say. Come on now, let's be real.
I just, it's really unfortunate the way that society,
yes,
and the church is set up.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't only happen in the church. I mean, we have, leaders in the marketplace that are doing things that are immoral or unethical.
Right.
But yet they have, challenges with, employees that may be doing something, you know what I mean?
Right.
Unethical as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like, no. This is not a dictatorship.
Right. Right.
Do as I say, don't do as I do. But it's unfortunate because in the realm of the church, people who are evidently struggling, and sometimes the church does not give an opportunity for that individual to even get on the journey of healing.
Wow. Because of condemnation.
Because of condemnation, because of rejection, because of, leaders or just people in general.
That's right.
Having so much to say without understanding either the trauma or just the character of the person that has the struggle.
Right. Right. Exactly. I think that if people every day, whether it's in the church or out of church, if people just see people for who they are as an individual, as a human being, without the label, just see people for who they are, I think that you can relate to them better. You will be able to love them. You'll be able to have a conversation with them. But if you see a person and you label them as having a problem, if you label them as having a struggle or issue, I don't really like using that word, but I'm going to say that. If you label that person, then automatically, you won't be able to accept them because you put a label on them. Sometimes a man could be a little feminine, and the first thing they start thinking, some people, they start thinking, oh, well, he must be gay. Just because a man is a little feminine doesn't mean that he's gay. And just because a woman is a little not too prissy, that doesn't mean she's gay. People are filled with their own opinions when they come to that stuff too, Tony, because I've seen people, I've heard of people going to church, sitting in the front, and the preacher just preaching a whole message about sexuality, looking at one person saying that they're gay, and that person wasn't gay at all. Or maybe that person had some issues at the time, but it wasn't anything like that, right? So there's different problems in that area when it comes to the opinions of people, projecting something on people that is not true when it comes to sexuality. I mean, even me, I've been questioned. People have questioned me, Tony, like, well, is she gay? Is she straight? Is she bi? And like I said to you, Tony, when people question me, I'll say this. People never ask me directly. People always ask somebody else that's connected to me, but they never ask me, right? And I always say to people, like I said to my sister, I said, well, I didn't ask them what kind of position they was in with their husband a couple of days ago. So why are they asking me that? I mean to ask somebody if they're gay, straight, or bisexual. I don't think it's the next person's business, right? I mean, for the people that walk down the street and they're advocates of the gay community, okay, if that's for you, that's for you. But as far as me, no, that's not for me. I mean, I love all people, put it like that. I love gay people, straight people, whoever, but I'm not against anyone. But what I'm saying is when people start questioning the next person's sexuality, ask yourself the question, why you need to know if somebody is gay or straight? Do you want to be with that person? If you asking, you must want to be with them. On a serious note, I want to say this. Why are you asking? Why do you need to know? If somebody's asking you questions about your bedroom, wouldn't you become a little uncomfortable? So why do other people, whether it be in the church or out of church, why do they constantly want to know if the next person is gay or straight? I mean, does it really matter, Toni, if a person is gay or straight? If they're not trying to hit on you, then why do people even need to know?
Yeah, I really don't think that it makes a difference. Yeah. I think that sometimes people are looking for something.
Wow. You said they're looking for something because of what? They're uncomfortable with themselves being around that person? You think?
I'm not sure if it's their uncomfortability or if they're just looking for something to carry.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah. It's something, because as you were talking, I was thinking, sometimes we are so contradictory, right? Because there could be this underlying opinion about someone who is struggling with their sexuality, but that opinion disappears when either in the church realm, they have a large offering to give for a particular event, or a door has been opened, and so then they call it favor, but yet the person is still struggling.
Wow.
Or outside of the church realm, when we take it to commerce in the marketplace, oh well, if I'm running a business but I get a sponsorship from another entity, but the founder or the owner of that sponsorship is still struggling. But now the opinion is gone.
Right.
Well, which one is it? Because you're certainly contradictory. Yesterday, you didn't really want to be bothered with anybody that had the struggle, right?
Wow.
But today, because it's for the convenience of you and yours,
right?
Now it's called favor, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've experienced that. I know somebody. They were having a conversation with me, and they were talking about their business, and in the midst of the conversation, they said, "Oh, well, I don't want to accept any money for them because they're gay." And I said, "Well, it ain't no, the money ain't gay." So my whole thing was, I mean, like, if the person wants to support you, just receive the support. Like, what the heck? I mean, like, I don't understand that mindset. I mean, people, no matter what your sexuality are, be human. Be who you are. Be the love that God created you to be. God created you to be loved, to love and be loved. So be the love that God created you to be. And for those that are judgmental and opinionated, just stop it. Stop it. And if you're listening to this podcast and you're one of those people that just judge every gay or bisexual person, and everybody you see that's not what you think they are, you question their sexuality. Every time you look around, you questioning if this woman is gay, or is that man gay? Ask yourself the question, does it really matter? Does it matter if they support your business, if they support your church, if they support anything that you do? Ask yourself the question, does it matter? The person is not an animal. And I want to be very, very clear. I'm talking about this topic because I have come in contact with different people that are hurting on different levels. And like I said, I personally have been questioned. My sexuality has been questioned. Of course, I laugh because I just do, Toni. And, because nobody would never, people don't come to me and ask me. They always, they whisper, Toni. But, I'm so free in my spirit that I don't care. So, but I'm talking about this topic because, like I said, I've had conversations with people that are going through different things or have gone through different things with the church. And I have experienced, like I said a minute ago, I was having a conversation with somebody and it was a little judgmental in the conversation. So I don't want them supporting my business. I don't understand that. I just don't understand that at all, Toni. I thank you for bringing that up, that point about what I just said, the church or the, commerce world, having that double standard like that. It's just sad. And I just think that we all need to evaluate ourselves to see where we are mentally. What are we thinking? And we need to question ourselves to determine if what we are thinking is healthy when it comes to another human being. I mean, if a person that is gay, if they're trying to come at you a certain way, then I would question whether or not that person, is gay or not. If that person is causing a problem in your congregation or whatever, then yes, I would address or question that individual. But like you said, Toni, people are on their own journey with God as individuals. And what people do, I just think it's none of our business. What'd you say, Toni?
It is none of our business. Mm-hmm. It really isn't. I mean,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's none of our. I mean, someone
mm-hmm.
sent me a couple of videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in these videos, I didn't even watch the entire video, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the first 2 minutes or so of each video,
mm-hmm.
I felt like there was some discussion that was very judgmental,
mm-hmm.
Was not necessarily edifying,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But to tear down.
Right.
And so I said to myself, and then I said to someone else,
mm-hmm.
where it ties in here, I don't care what happens to these other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever is going on in their personal lives,
yes,
that's their business.
Mm-hmm.
I have no place to put them in.
Right.
All I know is, they are people just like I am a person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's none of my business.
No.
It really isn't. It's none of my business.
No, it really isn't. I think that when you see someone, and if you are aware that they are struggling with something, or if they're going through something, whether you're in the church or out of church, we have a responsibility to pray for people, assist people, encourage people. We have that duty. But anything contrary to that, if you're doing something contrary to helping someone, then check yourself. Because condemning someone or critiquing them, criticizing them, and questioning them, and trying to find out the why, guess what? You're out of your lane. So get in your own lane, pray for yourself, and then once you pray for yourself, make sure you check your own thought life when it comes to determining whether you're helping people or hurting people, because a lot of people are struggling with different challenges in secret when it comes to their sexuality in the church and out of the church. And a lot of people, sometimes they have this double standard of who they want to accept and not accept. And like Toni said, people are on a path and a journey of healing. And we have to let people be who they are, good, bad, or indifferent. When you love somebody, make sure you decide to love them unconditionally, because love is a decision. It's not always about how you feel. It's a decision to love, to help people to live. And I'm not some kind of ambassador or advocate for the gay community. I want to make that very clear. I'm speaking off of just my concern for people overall, because I've come in contact with people that's been hurt by people in the church. I've come in contact with people that's been hurt by their family, being accused of being a gay. I've come in contact with people that were rejected by their family in the church, and just different situations that have caused harm. And so that's why I wanted to talk about this topic, Toni. And I know for some people, this topic may be a little even uncomfortable, because they want to just push it under the carpet again. Some people do not like to talk about these type of topics, because if everything can look good on the outside, everything's okay. But guess what? It's not. Because if you have a child, or someone that might be struggling with a personal issue pertaining to their sexuality, if you recognize that, you could be the first person to help them to live. And when I say live, I'm talking about live to have a quality-filled life, a healthy life so that that person can love, so that they can be a healthy individual spiritually and mentally. Just because you see somebody struggling with something pertaining to their sexuality does not mean it's the end of the world. It does not mean that this person is messed up. It doesn't mean that. We all are a work in progress, and all of us have our personal challenges that we deal with. But when it comes to sexuality, it's just more obvious, on some people. And so, Toni, you want to add something to that?
I just want to say that love is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Love is very powerful. And sometimes, in order to operate in that kind of love that covers, yes. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of love that isn't haughty.
Yes.
The kind of love that doesn't exalt itself.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you'll find that mm-hmm. it'll put you in a place, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
Love is powerful. That's all. It's just, and if we could really have a greater understanding mm-hmm. of love unconditional, then we wouldn't have so much to say.
That's right.
About people's challenges,
mm-hmm.
about people's flaws.
Right.
And we would be able to engage them.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, from an authentic place.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the key thing. When you see someone dealing with some type of confusion when it comes to sexuality, because sometimes, unfortunately, people, like you said earlier, Toni, there could be trauma for something they've gone through and they're not sure. Sometimes, we see children going through that. And, you might have the super saints talking about, oh, we need to pray. Yes, I do believe in prayer. I do. Yes. I believe in prayer all day, every day. But at the same time, guess what? We still have to love. We still have to do our part with what God has given us already as individuals, because I believe that God has empowered all of us to help the next person. Yes, we need to pray. Yes, we need to do what is necessary when it comes to the spiritual maintenance of all things. Yes, I believe in all of that. But at the same time, before you do all of that, if you haven't made a decision to love, then guess what? You already messed up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our duty. And so that is why I wanted to talk about this topic, because people are hurting, people are being rejected, people are not being accepted, and people are not receiving the help that they rightfully deserve. And I believe that the church has the power to help people, direct people, guide people. It puts them on the path to be healed and set free from all kinds of things that they have suffered in their life. With the power of God, God gives us the power to help people in that order. And, you know, whether you're on your job or in the church or just out and about traveling, we need to have more compassion, and we need to just see people for who they are. We should not become uncomfortable just because a man or a woman or someone walks into a venue, or if they're in your presence, if they're gay. We should not become uncomfortable. We shouldn't look at every person that has a sexuality challenge as if they have a problem, because a problem with your sexuality is no different than a person that's walking around with gluttony every single day. It's no different. It's a person that commits adultery 7 days a week is no different. So I just wanted to make that clear. Is there anything else you want to say, Toni?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope that this topic has given you some insight and some encouragement in terms of just doing some self-evaluation and being honest with yourself and being honest with your family members when it comes to your part in helping them. And if you're one of those people that's in the church, stop judging and just run to help. And when I say run to help, make sure you pray and make sure you say something that's edifying. But don't judge and don't condemn, because condemnation leads to something that is really, really negative. I mean, there are people that are leaving here, and we need to love one to save one and not condemn anyone. So on that note, we are going to conclude this episode of SB Favorite Thinking Podcast. Listeners, I appreciate you, and I thank you so much for tuning in. If you need to reach me, you can reach me at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at sbfavor. I also have a TikTok handle. There is inspirational and motivational content over there. It makes me human to trip over my words. Amen. But anyway, also, I have a YouTube channel. Please click like, subscribe to the channel, and make sure wherever you listen to podcasts, you can subscribe there as well. Make sure you share the podcast with others. And if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at $SB Favor at Cash App. $SB Favor. Can't forget that. And listeners, thank you so much for your support. And I got to tell you again, share the podcast with others. You have a good day. And thank you, Toni. Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right, listeners, have a good Saturday and the rest of the weekend. Stay safe. Have a good day.